In this week's video, I'm going to show you AKS Service Connector, the new way to connect your AKS cluster to Azure backend services. And we start right now. Hi everyone, I'm Lionel, your MCT and MVP. You're watching the AKS Security playlist where we dive deep into the latest features and best practices for managing your Azure Kubernetes service. I'm making this video because the new AKS Service Connector truly simplifies the connection between your AKS cluster and other Azure services. Before this feature, to link your AKS cluster to something like a Key Vault or another Azure service, the best practice was to use workload identities. These rely on the OIDC protocol, which is based on the OAuth 2.0 standard. And just for information, if you need a refresher on OIDC, I've got a video detailing that protocol. Without Service Connector, using these workload identities with AKS used to involve a bunch of steps. You have to turn on specific features within your AKS cluster. You need to create a Kubernetes service account. You need to create an Azure Managed Identity. Then you must retrieve the OIDC issuer URL. You need to establish federated identity credential trust, and then grant permissions to access Azure services. While these steps are all well documented and achievable, they can be quite time-consuming. That's why the AKS Service Connector is such a game changer. It handles all steps for you, so that's pretty cool. And here is something really great for Azure services without public access. It sets up private connection components like your private link, private endpoints, DNS records, and more. You can also check and validate the service connection status, and if there are any issues, the service connector even suggests actions to fix them. But wait, the service connector isn't just for AKS. It can also be used with other Azure Compute services like Azure App Service, Azure Function, Container Apps, and even Spring Apps. And if you are confused about the differences between these services and which one to use, don't miss my previous video where I break it all down for you. As you can see on the screen, I have put together a list of all the services you can connect to. As you can see, you can link a Key Vault, but also other services like databases, storage, and even AI services. Alright, enough talking, let's dive into the demo. As you can see on the screen, I have set up a resource group with an AKS cluster and a Key Vault. In the Key Vault, I'm creating a test secret called MySecret that we will try to access from our workloads. Now, let's go to our AKS cluster, find the Service Connector menu, and add a service connection. We'll select Key Vault as a service type. You can configure the connection name and the Key Vault settings here, and I'm leaving the client types as known. On the Authentication tab, in the Advanced Settings, you can choose the roles you want. In my case, I will select just the Key Vault secrets user. Automatic firewall rules will be set up, and if you have a private cluster, it will configure a private link and private endpoints, which is just awesome. We can now review and create the service connection. Once done, you will have easy access to environment variables like the tenant ID, the Key Vault name, and the client ID that we will use in our test. We start by getting the kubeconfig with the command az-aks get credentials. And then we pull a GitHub repo to test how to use the Azure Key Vault provider for Secret Store CI/CD driver in an AKS cluster. We open the Secret Provider class file and update it with the necessary values, tenant ID, Key Vault name, and the secret name we are interested in. Then we deploy the Secret Provider class CRD. Next, we launch a test pod that mounts the Secret Store as a volume and check that the pod is running. Using the kubectl exec command, we'll display the contents of the volume and see our secret. Finally, we retrieve the value with a simple cat command, and as you can see, it works. If you manage to create your service connector and use it maybe with another Azure service, drop a comment and let us know how it went. It can be interesting for everyone. In the description, you will also find a link to my blog post where I explain how to create a workload identity federation manually, so the old school method before Service Connector came along. I think it's always crucial to understand the details in case you ever need to debug any issues. That's it, thank you so much for your support. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Your encouragement keeps me motivated to create more content. Take care my friend, and I see you on the next one. Hey, thank you so much for dropping by my channel today. Here are some other videos that may interest you. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to be informed of the weekly updates. Let's keep growing a fantastic learning community together. My goal is to assist as many people as possible on their cloud and DevOps learning journey. That's it, take care and see you next time.